Hello and welcome to my review of the Primaris Space Marine Sergeant Castus Warhammer Commemorative Series model for Warhammer 40,000 from Games Workshop. The only way to have gotten hold of this model was to take part in Games Workshop's promotion throughout most of October. You needed to spend £150 or more on the Games Workshop web store, so not Forge World, unfortunately. And if the order was qualifying, they would add this Sergeant model to your basket for free. Now, the important note in all this is you could have used some virtual vouchers in that order. So say your order was £160 and you had £30 worth of vouchers, that would reduce it down to £130 and you'd still get the Sergeant. That's what I did. I didn't spend £150, very kind subscriber, which I mentioned in the Black Templars unboxing, donated that, and I was able to bump up the order to a little bit more to get hold of this model. So not only is that set and all of the Black Templars models and the future Black Templars models, I might add, because of that subscribe and that support of the channel, this model is as well. So thank you again, Ed. You did put your name in the on the Black Templars video, so thank you again. So a huge thank you to you. The format of this review is as normal. I will look at the miniature up close, I'll go through the spare parts, which there are only two, and then we'll go through the rules. Very interesting rules, because I just expected him to be a normal sergeant, but his stat line is a little bit different. More on that later. Let's have a look at Sergeant Castus. I think he's a fantastic model. With my unboxing yesterday, you probably saw that he definitely takes some cues from Doom Guy on the Doom artwork. That artwork came out in the 90s, so that's over 30 years old. It's a fantastic bit of artwork, and it's nice that it pays homage to that. So nice little crossover, I guess. But yeah, it's clear to see that it's a tribute to that, because you've got a pile of Necrons all clambering up, trying to drag him down. You know, his armor is really beat up. There's bullet marks, pop marks, dents in the ceramite. All kinds of things happening. There's marks and things on his power plant, his shoulder pauldron, his helmet, even everywhere you can think of. There are marks, even on the chainsword. So yeah, he's been in the wars. He's beat up. I do like the kind of scratch marks on his greave there as well. The Necrons are quite cool. You don't have to kind of glue them straight away. You could leave them loose. You could also have him off the base, which would make it much easier to paint the Necron and everything else that's going on there. I've equipped him with a helmet and a plasma pistol, so I wanted to go for that route, but you can also have him helmetless with a heavy bolt pistol. You can magnetize the wrist area if you really want and swap it, but you know, I think if you're playing a game with one of your friends and they're adamantly refusing to believe that your heavy bolt pistol is a plasma pistol, then I would just make new friends. Life's too short to be pedantic about you know, a game with plastic miniatures. But I think it's absolutely fantastic. You know, it's just a shame that they have put it behind this you know, £150 spend or so, because if they just released it individually, I don't know, for like £30, that seems about reasonable, then I think it would sell a lot. The other Necron in the room, I guess, is the base size. Now, he's on a massive, I think it's a 50mm base. Well, according to my ruler, the ruler tells me that it's 50mm. I should know this just by eyeballing it, but yeah, that means that he's on a bigger than Terminator base. I think someone said in the comments, isn't that a bigger issue? Yeah, I guess the size of the base is a bigger issue in terms of gaming compared to whether he's got a bolt pistol or plasma pistol. However, bigger bases means that the opponent can fit more models around him in combat. So yeah, it kind of negates that in a way. Games Workshop supply rules with this unit. So because they supply rules, and supplying rules with it being built like this, so they're not expecting you to squeeze him on a 32mm base or anything. If they supply rules, then you know, he's a usable character, and that's with the base size that they include. So the spare parts then, you only get 2. You can certainly use both of them with other models if you so wish. You get a heavy bolt pistol, which is boring looking, nothing special going on, no dents or anything in that, and also you get a head which you can use, and it is pretty unique. It's got some scratches over his eye, maybe he's only got one eye left, but yeah, you can just chop that plug off and pop him in. I will say he's not an easy to build kit. He is monopose, but he's not easy to build. There's no plugs and sockets, so it's only just in this head. I wanted to make that point clear, that, you know, things like the pistol can be swapped. The arms are just flat, like firstborn Marines of old, so there is that. So they're the spare parts. Size comparisons then, I've got a number of size comparisons. I know everybody wants me to do a comparison with the Emperor's Champion. Well, no, actually, it's just me. But here's the Emperor Champion on the Terminator base, on the 40mm base. When did Space Marines start being put on Terminator bases? I don't know, but here he is next to him. Yes, the Emperor's sword is still way taller than Sergeant Castus, but that gives you an idea that how tall the Emperor's Champion is. He's kind of almost as tall as this Sergeant, without the base. If you put him there, he's huge. He really is a massive model, the Emperor's Champion, but I love him. It's fantastic. Compared to a normal Primaris Captain, right here on the 40mm, Captain is probably similar height. They should be. But yes, I mean, you could technically proxy this Sergeant as a Captain. That would be a great use of him. You know, if you didn't want to use him as an actual Sergeant, because he will look a bit odd, you know, surrounded by a load of intercessors. I mean, who I've got right here, actually, well, they're not intercessors, they're initiates, but, you know, just to give you an example of how big he would look next to them all. So, yeah. He's definitely going to stand out, but I could just proxy him as a Captain. You can certainly probably modify or chop that chainsword off and put a power sword, or, you know, you could probably put a power sword there or in there, or I don't know, connected to him somewhere, and just have that as the Captain. But that's where he stands up with all the Primaris. Compared to a Redemptor Dreadnought right here, that's where he stands. Yeah, he's not quite as big as a Redemptor, but there we go. And then the last 3 size comparisons I always like to make is with the typical Imperium models. I don't see much point of showing you next to an Intercessor, but there we go. Here is the Firstborn Marine. So, yeah, clearly a Primaris size difference there. Sly Marbo, a fair bit bigger than him. And then the Intercessor, should be similar size. Yeah, he's the same size as the Intercessor, but taller because of that base. So there you go, that's where he stands. He's as you'd expect. He's just a little bit taller because of the scenic base. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I will go through all of his rules. Now he does come with a little he does come with some rules on the back of his instruction booklet, and they are different than your typical Intercessor Sergeant. I'm not sure what's going on at the Games Workshop HQ, but they certainly decided to turn this Sergeant into some kind of Primaris Lieutenant wannabe, really. So I've got a couple of things to explain. Firstly, his stat line reads, it's a movement of 6 inches, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, and a save of 2+. So already you can understand where the change is. His heavy bolt pistol and plasma pistol remain the same, but his main change there is both in the number of wounds and his save. His number of attacks are the same as a normal Intercessor, but it just strikes me as odd having 5 wounds, because typically an Intercessor Sergeant has 2. I don't know whether that's a misprint or not for both of those, because I honestly cannot understand why he would have a save of 2+. Clearly he would have a save of 3+. The only Space Marines that get saves of the 2+ are Terminators and Centurions. So it's really odd that they've given him a 2+ save, unless he's got some kind of like Artificer armor, which is quite rare for a sergeant to have. Yeah, maybe he is actually like a named character. Maybe we will get a specific data sheet for him at some point, but at present I just can't get my head around it really. Anyway, let me go through his sort of typical rules in the Intercessor unit. So normally you'd have 4 Intercessors and 1 Sergeant, and the Sergeant's normal rules is movement of 6 inches, weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+, strength and toughness are both 4, 2 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8 and a save of 3+. Every model is equipped with a bolt pistol, bolt rifle, frag grenades and crack grenades. So he can swap his bolt rifle for, you know, plasma pistol, chainsword or power sword. So technically he swapped it with that. And then if he's not equipped with a chainsword, so if you've got the plasma pistol, then you can give him a chainsword, you can give him a power fist, power sword or thunder hammer. Abilities: Angels of Death, combat squads. Keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, Infantry Corps, Primaris, Intercessors, Intercessor Squad. So there you go, that's my review of Primaris Space Marines actually, Sergeant Castus. I think he's one of the best models Games Workshop have produced this year in terms of Primaris. I think they are crazy to have had him as a promotion. Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. As always, it'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.